Hello everyone. Next is the type of operating systems. These are the most widely used types of operating system. First is simple batch operating system. Then is the multi-programming operating systems, multitasking operating systems, multiprocessor operating systems, distributed operating systems, real-time operating systems. First is the batch operating system. This is the most simple type of operating system we have. Most of the early operating system uses this simple batch operating OS. In this particular type of operating system, there is no direct interaction between the user and the computer. The user has to submit their processes, or you can say jobs, on a written cards or tape. They are sort of secondary storage devices. They submit to them to the computer operator, and then that computer operator submit those jobs or processes to the computer system. It actually sorts that particular jobs that are submitted by various users. This is how a simple batch operating system works. Different users submit their jobs, and that particular operator sorts that jobs accordingly depending upon उनका CPU usage कितना है, input output usage कितना है. Based on some criteria, it makes batches. That's why it is called batch operating system, and these batches are now submitted to the computer system for further execution of these particular jobs. As the major disadvantage of using this kind of operating system was there was no interaction between the user and the machine. Second major disadvantage for using this kind of simple batch operating system was that there was no mechanism to prioritize the processes. Because of that, the user programs has to wait for a longer period. Next type of operating system was multi-programming systems. Multi-programming, as you all know, is a simple technique to execute more than one program simultaneously using a single processor system. In this type of environment, there number of processes that resides into the main memory are more than one, and the operating system picks one of these processes based on some criteria and begins the execution, or you can say shifts them to the CPU for further execution. And when one process there is an interrupt occurs, that particular process wants to do some input output operation, at that time the CPU, as you know, it stays idle, and we cannot allow our operating system, or our operating system cannot allow the resources to be not fully utilized. As our CPU is idle, the CPU switches from one particular that process to the another process. Hence, in multi-programming operating system, that CPU never sits idle and it is efficiently used. As the prior जो पहली प्रोसेस है, अगर जब भी वो किसी इनपुट आउटपुट ऑपरेशन के लिए कॉल करेगी, CPU स्विच कर जाएगा दूसरी प्रोसेस के ऊपर. दिस इज दी मल्टी प्रोग्रामिंग, बिकॉज हमारी मेन मेमोरी में एक से ज़्यादा प्रोसेसेस रिसाइड कर रही है. एंड टू इम्प्लीमेंट दिस मल्टी प्रोग्रामिंग वी नीड CPU शेड्यूलिंग, जो हम फर्दर अपने वीडियोज़ में डिस्कस करेंगे. This is how a main memory of a multi-programming operating system looks like. There are more than one processes, or you can say jobs, they are inserted into the main memory. If one particular process has to go for some input output operation, the CPU shifted to the next process. These are the advantages of using multi-programming system. The physical memory is more efficiently utilized, and also you can say throughput increases. Throughput is known as the total outcome per unit time. Here the total outcome is number of processes executed per unit time. As the CPU never sits idle, so the performance is also increases, as the waiting time is limited into the multi-programming. Next is time sharing system, or you can say multitasking operating systems. As you all know, multi-programming system provide an environment in which various system resources like CPU, memory, input output devices are very well utilized efficiently, but it did not provide the user interaction with the computer system. To provide this user interaction, time sharing operating systems are used, or you can say multitasking, which is also you can say a logical extension to the multi-programming system. It is a logical extension to the multi-programming, as this CPU also switches between various processes, and this switching is based on the factor of time only. There are more than one user interaction in this system at the same time, because this CPU switches between various processes based on time. You can say एक time quantum decide करता है operating system, और after that time quantum expires, that CPU switches from one process to the another process, और वो time quantum का period काफ़ी short है, तो user को ये abstraction feel होती है that the उसकी जितनी भी प्रोसेसेस उसने रन कर रखी है वो सारी साइमल्टेनियसली एग्जीक्यूट कर रही हैं, बट एक्चुअली वो टाइम बेस्ड है, टाइम शेयरिंग पे है। एज एक टाइम शेयरिंग सिस्टम अलाउ करता है यूज़र को, वेब ब्राउज़र भी वो एक्टिवेट कर रहा है, उसने राइटिंग भी यूज़ कर रखी है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट वर्ड भी यूज़ कर रहा है, वो टाइप भी कर रहा है, बैकग्राउंड में टाइप स्पेलिंग चेक प्रोग्राम भी चल रहा है, एंड म्यूज़िक प्लेयर पे VLC प्लेयर पे म्यूज़िक भी रन कर रहा है। This is a time sharing system. For implementation of this time sharing or multitasking system, operating system needs to do some CPU scheduling, also multi-programming, because it is a logical extension of multi-programming, and also the memory management schemes to be implemented using some kind of hardwares. Unix is one of the major example of the time sharing systems. These are the advantages of the using time sharing system, that efficiently utilization of the CPU, and it also provide the interaction between the user and the machine. Major disadvantages of using the time sharing system is the complexity of this particular operating system increased drastically, because to implement this kind of system is always very complex and cumbersome process, as many algorithms need to be designed and implemented for memory management, CPU scheduling, and multi-programming implementation. Next is distributed operating system. As the name suggests, it is a network based operating system, and this network consists of autonomous computers. They are connected via communication networks that follows a message passing mechanism. In this kind of system, processor cannot share memory or clock cycles to each other. They have their own local memories, and also the processor that communicate with each other via various communication lines. They are basically high speed buses, memory buses. You can say a distributed operating system controls and manages the software and hardware resources of all the distributed systems connected to it. This is how architecture of a distributed operating system looks like. They are all connected via communication links. They all have their own CPU cycles and memory attached to themselves, and basically the designing issues is depending upon it needs process synchronization between each other, as the various processes has to share data from with each other into this to implement this kind of distributed operating system. Deadlock handling is required, memory management is to be implemented, and also the CPU scheduling is very crucial. The major advantages of using the distributed operating system are resource sharing. As resource sharing increases, all these resources can be used by this particular CPU. These resources can be shared by this CPU. Computational speed goes up, and also the reliability of overall system increases. Last is the real-time operating systems. These real-time operating systems are those operating systems, or you can say those systems where the correctness or the output of the system not only depend upon the logical result it has produced, उसने जो logical result produce किया है not only उस पे depend करती है, but also कितने time के अंदर उसने वो result produce किया उस पे भी depend कर रहा है. These kind of systems are known as real-time operating system. Basically they are of two type: hard real-time system and soft real-time systems. These kind of operating system generally have a very short time of a deadline to implement or to do the task they are given. The applications of the real-time operating systems are rocket launching, flight controls, in a flight, you can say a fighter jet. If a pilot has to push a button to launch a particular rocket, it must be using a real-time operating systems. In robotics, or you can say telephone switching equipments, fire and smoke sensors also are the example of the real-time operating systems. As I have already told you, it is the real-time operating systems are of basically two types: hard time real-time systems and soft real-time systems. First is the hard real-time operating systems. As the name suggests, it is very particular about the real time it is implementing. If the deadline is not met, this system is said to be failed. अगर एक a system is said to be hard real-time system if the deadline is not met. Even if the deadline is missed by a microsecond or a millisecond. The examples are on-board computers, robotic system, or again the fighter jets, where all the crucial tasks must be completed, or you can say guaranteed to be completed on time. Next is soft real-time systems. As the name suggests, these are the systems where the deadline is, if it is the deadline is missed, the system does not fail for that particular kind of application. Only it is noted that the performance of the system is not up to the mark, or you can say it is degraded. And also the utility of that particular result that is collected in soft real-time system, it is not discarded, it is accepted, but if it is collected after the deadline, the utility of that particular result is decreased. Examples are railway reservation systems, or you can say VOD systems. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe the channel.